Hi lovelies, and welcome back to this channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda's channel. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload a video, you will be the first person to be notified. And to my returning subscribers, thank you so much for all the love and support. To those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, and also educate I, you guys are the real MVP. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Alright, lovelies, let's dive into this
So
video.
lovely, I came across this video on my For You page on TikTok, and I started to share with you guys where this kid was actually telling what her teacher in class was saying regarding a racial slur in her class. And the mom actually took to internet to actually share with people to see what is actually going on in schools. Guys, I'm just going to roll the clip as well as some of the stitches I was able to put together. Please leave me your own thoughts in the comment section what you think of this video. Alright lovelies, let's dive into it.
So I said, Landon, can you pass on the black crayon? And then Landon said, we need the color black like you. Then I told the teacher, and the teacher said, oh, he didn't mean it in that way. And then I was just thinking in my mind, that's racist. Why would she say that? There's no other way. So, and then the next thing, the next racist thing that he said, so I was just talking about spiders to my friend, and then he heard me and he said, you're a black widow. And then I told the teacher again, she still said he didn't mean it in that way. And I keep on saying in my mind, there's no other way. And so we were in the library, and I was talking to my friend about monkeys, like how we were talking about spiders, and then he said, and he was at the same table, and we were in the library, and the teacher was right beside our table. So he whispered, because the teacher was right beside our table, you're a black monkey. Then I was so surprised. Why would he say that? That's the most racist thing ever. So then I told the library teacher, and then the library teacher said, I also told my teacher, and she said, he didn't mean it in that way. And the library teacher said, it was an accident.
What? She actually told you it was an accident. This message is for the parents of Landon and any other parents that think that it's okay to teach their kids racism or don't realize that their kids are picking up on their racism. It's not cool. They're going to have a hard time navigating through a diverse world later on in life when they have been taught to hate or taunt and bully people because of something they have no control over, which is the color of their skin. And it's sad that we have to have these conversations in 2024, but living in rural areas of Texas, I've come to find out that racism is still very much alive and well. So since you weren't taught in Sunday school that we are all God's children, all created in his wonderful image, I invite you to open up the good book and to study it, because we are all equal and we are all loved by a perfect creator who has created us perfectly.
Hey, what's going on? You heard the knowledge coming from this little princess. For her to be that age and that attentive and articulate is simply amazing. Young lady, you keep doing what you're doing. We are so proud of you. But isn't it amazing that teachers, educators, and I say this as a former educator, educators can, they didn't mean it. Oh, they didn't mean it. Oh, the crayon's black like you. Oh, they didn't mean it. And the fact that the teacher did not pull the child to the side and say, hey, she does not look that way. That is a crayon box color. Now, let's go back to origins, shall we? We as a people never called ourselves black. If you go to Africa, I've been a few times, we don't refer to ourselves as, they're black, they're darkies. That's something that the oppressors named us. They said, oh, they're black, they're darkies, and we're white, we're pure. Go read a book. It's there. Go to YouTube. It's there. But when we look at the origins of that, when our people came across the water and were forcibly kidnapped, as they were brought across the water from different regions, that was the categorization that they fell under, that they were called darkies because we're naturally melanated. And true enough, there are a few of us that are my complexion. Some are this complexion, which I imagine is the same color as that crayon that the child held up. And because the teacher did not say, and I'm saying what I would have said, excuse me, that's not how we refer to people. She has darker skin than you. That makes her unique. That makes her different. And we should love people even if they are different. That would have been the sensible thing. But to condone it and say that, oh, she didn't mean it. It was an accident. It's okay. Or then be referred to with the spider. Oh, that's a black widow. Because of course, in the culture, we've been taught that everything has been black. Everything that is black has been bad. Black Sabbath, blackballed, blackmailed, Black Sunday, and the list goes on and on. But yet if something is white, it's pure, knowing that you can draw nothing from white, but everything from black. That's another story altogether. But amazingly, we have educators that are in the classrooms, and to downplay something like that suggests one or two things: that she was that busy and didn't care, or that she condones it herself. And imagine the self-esteem of a child that is not as strong as the one that we witness in this video. Imagine the self-esteem of a child that shows up with my complexion darker or lighter, and then someone says that they're black like a tarantula. Can you imagine what that does with self-esteem? And yet, because they have not said the N-word or did anything like lynching, they will always downplay. Oh, it's not racism. No, yes, that's pretty much racism as well. But the fact is that we have so many who know it's there. They will not acknowledge it, because to acknowledge it means that you have to admit that your dead ancestors were wrong, which most people never want to admit that their dead ancestors were wrong. So they will condone it. Not to mention, plus, if they acknowledge it, that means that they have to do something about it. And if they have to do something about it, that means that money will be taken out of the pockets of so many people that it would even be funny. Crazily, with the whole racism piece, no matter what you do as a person, young lady, there'll always be somebody who will be critical of you because you are black, because you are African American, because your skin is darker. And I say this because right now the laws that are being passed, speaking negatively of Israel, anti-Semitism, laws that are being put in effect. And again, I'm the type of person, I respect everyone, but isn't it ironic that they'll pass a bill saying that if you speak against Jewish people, that it is going to be consequences? And I get that, because they wanted you to respect Jewish people. But for people of African American descent who've been here since 1619, we still can say the N-word on record, still can say the N-word in movies, and nobody sees that as offensive. But if you say something about another group of people, it's deemed offensive and a law gets passed for you. Crazy, but no matter how we try to admit it, it still exists. So our job is to continue to fight it. Young lady, if you're watching this video, you keep doing what your mother says. Keep listening to your mother. You will go far in life, but please keep learning and knowing your history. I'm out.
If you're an educator and your response to a racist remark or something racist is to the person who experienced it that they were wrong, or that their perception of what happened was wrong, quit your job. A few weeks ago, my niece was told by her own teacher to come to class neatly and to comb her hair because it looked like a mess. And at my niece's young age of 9, she had to explain to a full-grown adult what texturism is and how her remarks were racist. This has also affected her performance in this particular subject relative to last year. Not only are you training white kids to be racist, you're also training black and brown kids to hate school.
So I decided to stitch this video because I have twin daughters, and I believe then it was 4th grade. And they also told me about how this young man was running around calling them black monkeys, calling them all types of names, and just saying all types of racist things. And the teachers weren't saying much because basically they either didn't hear him, or when he did say things, or even actually saying the N-word, they said that they really couldn't do much but tell him to stop. Like, the teachers really couldn't say anything to the parents. I have one simple solution. Tell your daughters, if these young boys are saying these things to them, tell your daughters to ask these boys if their mothers can fight.
So that video, which you should definitely watch, is about a little girl recounting like the microaggressions that she's experienced in her first grade classroom, and just like the ongoing ways in which her teachers gaslight her into saying, oh, he didn't mean it, it was an accident, like that isn't really happening. And then the mom goes on for another part to further discuss like the investigation that the school does into the problem and the ways in which it's just no one's really believing her, no one's really taking this super seriously. And I don't know exactly, obviously, this family specific story, but it made me think a lot about mine. Growing up in a predominantly white community, the way that this just brought me back, it was relentless. Just the comments, the jokes, the microaggressions, just the ongoing like little things every single day of my young life. And I think about like my husband is Chinese, Korean, and Puerto Rican. He also just had like ongoing bullying. For him, it was actually a lot more like physical violence. And just like to now us thinking about wanting to start a family. We live in Brooklyn. We absolutely love our community. Like, we love where we live. We love our home, but we're in like a teeny apartment. We're in a great apartment. We're in a beautiful location, but like this apartment is small. And people say, why don't you move to the suburbs? Like, he grew up in Long Island. I grew up in New Jersey. Why don't you guys move back out to the suburbs? You get so much more for your money. And every time someone says that, I think about like, it's not that racism doesn't exist in a city, like of course it does, but just being like one of one in your classes, having all white teachers, having all white friends around you, the way that no one believes you when you encounter these things versus today, the friends that I've made, the community that I've built, even like with my husband, we clock something and we're like, yeah, we know exactly what that is. Like, I have built a life now where no one questions me. Like, I don't have to deal with people questioning, is this real? Is that really racism? You're being too sensitive? And like, I am so heartbroken for this little girl because that was me. And I feel so sad for, the mother that is like trying to advocate for her child. Like, I honestly hate that for her. And I'm like, this is why I cannot imagine. And I don't know if that family lives in a predominantly white area, or like what their specific situation is, but I'm just like, that is why I will live in a tiny apartment forever, because I just can't imagine like having to start over in a community where like, I just don't feel like I belong. And I don't really think that white parents have to think about this in the same way. I feel like marginalized people, I could even imagine like queer, like families with like queer parents, thinking about, similar types of things, like being in a community where there maybe aren't other families that like look like yours. Overall, just being part of a marginalized group and feeling alone and then having to raise kids like that, like, no, I cannot do it.
Babysitting so far in the trunk is my first question. My second question is, how come you ain't turning around yet? As a mom who have a nephew and a niece, we'd have spent the bin. Cause let my nephew would have called me and said, Auntie, guess what? And he told me the same story your baby told me. The way I'm on 95, the way I'm on 83, the way I'm coming down Pulaski Highway, the way I'm on my way. Because what we talking about? We gonna have a conference right now. I don't give a fuck if it's testing. Oh, I'll wait till testing over. Testing ain't all day. This probably wouldn't even have made it to TikTok. Because the way I'd have spent the bin on a school, and now call Landon parents in here. Because now we're going to have a conversation. And the way the conversation would have went, I would have listened to the parents and how they talk, and how they try to talk around things that are racist and uncomfortable, would further let me know that this goes on in his household and it's acceptable. Yeah. Had Auntie come out her motherfucking wig. Playing.
Told the teacher and
Hi everyone, I just wanted to respond to this video real quick. I am very sick and tired of parents not protecting their children. I have been beyond tired of the schools and other people not protecting our children. It is our responsibility to protect our children. It is up to us to protect our children. Why are we continuously allowing our children to be hurt? Mentally, spiritually, physically. It is up to us to protect our children. And this is the reason why I homeschool. And yes, it's very hard. And yes, I do go fundraisers to raise money for school supplies. But I'd rather be out here begging for books and crayons and to have my child scarred for life because of the hate of others. When is enough going to be enough? At the end of life? Not mine. Not yours. God gave us our children as a special gift. We are to protect them. How many times these children got to tell a teacher and the teacher say, oh, they didn't mean it that way? How many times a parent got to say, oh, it's more training need to be done? Pull your children out of these schools. They don't care about your children. They don't love your children like you love your children. We are living in a time where we have to keep our children close. We have to keep them under our bosom. They need to be protected at all costs. If it was ever a time for us to start doing something, I would think you would start doing it when it comes to your child. Our child is the last stop. My God. This is wrong. A meeting is not going to fix it. Training is not going to fix it. These children are being scarred for life. Ask me how I know. I'm a Generation X child. We were the product of the integration with the children who were devils, little devils. We have to take accountability for our children. It is your responsibility to make sure your children is okay. And this is why I homeschool, because it's my responsibility. And yes, I do home fundraisers. Yes, I seek help with supplies. Yes, I do that because it does take a village. However, please don't leave our children vulnerable. Do not. You wouldn't want yourself in this situation. So why would you send your children? Please support us. Bless Hands for homeschooling. If you need information on homeschooling, please inbox me. Please donate, so we can continue to homeschool. We have to take accountability for our children. They are our responsibility.
Like seriously, lovelies, it's just high time we all need to protect our, children and kids. And we also need to look into, schools, their schools activities, how they've been treated, and, their classrooms, the teachers, and all of that. So this princess decided to, explain to her mama what, she actually went through in school, during their school project, where a fellow maid, like that her school, mate decided to actually use a racial stuff, like, she was talking about, how she was asking this guy to, pass her something, a black ruler or something, and he decided to, like, is it the one that looks like you? This supposed to be, either a pan-colored boy or girl, using these words on her. What actually baffles me is the fact that these people are very young kids. Like, they're 9 and all of that, 10, 11, 12, and they're already using such words. And another thing before I continue is that I must actually commend the mom of this little princess. Seriously, when we keep on telling people to actually educate their young ones about, races, racial slurs, and advantage and the disadvantage of it, which also it has a lot of disadvantage. People think that we do not know what we're talking about. I know the schools eradicated, history, and not wanting to teach about history or wanting to teach about black culture or black history or what have you, because they felt that, the white kids or pan-colored might actually feel bad, to think that, oh, this is what our ancestors or our parents actually did to those people, without the society even realizing that. Without teaching this, young ones that is coming, without even teaching them about it, try to educate them about it, so it's going to actually bring more harm than good. It might actually make them or break them, because you do not know the way their parents actually raised them. A lot of them might come from a Ray and cis family, and because of that, this Ray and cis family might, transfer the level of Ray and cis they have to their offspring. Then, in school again, they are not being taught about it. At home, they are just seeing the reality of it. Maybe they just listen to how their parents talked about it, or how they treat or talk about black people, and because of that, they develop this kind of, even without knowing or knowing it to them, they develop this kind of hatred on, black people and all of that, and they grow with it. Before you know it, they become racist just like their parents. How can someone of that age actually describe his or her colleague, in that manner? This actually have to do with your upbringing, where you are coming from. Another problem I have with this video is actually the teacher responded like he does not mean it that way. The teacher know exactly what whosoever he is, she or she meant, and the teacher know exactly what this princess is talking about, but she do not want to address this issue because no, pan-colored people shy away from talking about anything that has to relate with races, supremacy, blah blah blah. They often shy away from it. They don't want to talk about it, even if they possess all the characteristics of a race. Even if they are races, they still don't want to talk about it. This little girl was complaining about how this boy or a girl was just using those words and her, like, try to be all racially, and all you could do was like, nah, you are defending him. to enable him to continue doing whatsoever he was doing. Defending him is enabling him to continue being so racially towards, his or her schoolmates. But as a teacher, instead of you to do the right thing and do your job as a teacher and actually educate these little ones and make them know that no, you cannot use this on your fellow human, because we are all equal in the eyes of God. We are all equal and need to be treated as such. But because your supremacy and whatever is just everywhere you go, even in the school environment, even on your pupils you teach, you cannot even for once maybe call this guy to order, like, don't use such words again. You can't address someone like that. And because you never, call him to order, that was why he had to do that for the second time. And now you are making this princess to like question herself. So like, am I the one being crazy? Or am I the one taking this too far? Is this not supposed to be a racial stuff? Why is my teacher not even counseling this boy to stop using this? You're making this little girl to feel bad. Just because you want to protect whosoever you want to protect. Making it seem as if, okay, she don't know what she's talking about. Seriously. As a teacher, you need to be able to solve situations like this because of your academical wherever that you have. If you're as a teacher is not able to solve issues like this, I do not even know why you are called a teacher. Because parents actually, are the first people in the life of this growing up, and you as a teacher is the second parent, because most of the things that they can't learn at home, they will learn it from you. But all because, okay, you guys, you know how it is. You don't like talking about stuff like this. You shy away with stuff like this. You decide to make this little princess think maybe she does not know what she's talking about, or maybe she's seeing bananas, or she's questioning bananas. That she have to like keep on telling you, he has done that again. He has said such a thing to me again, and you are like, oh, he did not mean it that way. He just tried to say you are beautiful. He did not mean it that way. And this issue of black, the thing is that we are not even black. Like, our color is not black. We are some kind of melanated brown. Is that why Euphoria or whatever have to create this foundation, this black foundation, making it seem as if we are black? We are not even black. Like, seriously, I feel so bad for this little princess, because for her to actually leave school, waited for her mama to come pick her up from school, and she had to complain about this to her mama, actually means that she felt so bad at that young age. She's already feeling what it feels to be a black person at this young age. This is why I feel some type of way. If at that age she can actually ask these questions and try to like, mama, is this, that means that she really felt bad, but the teacher disappointed her as usual. This reminds me of a particular video I staged. This person she's a biracial girl. She called out her mama and was trying to explain how she was treated by a client in their hospital, calling her unprofessional and unqualified, incompetent, because she happens to be a black biracial baby. This is just what you have to go through being a black person. And it's so unfortunate that in 2024, something like this is still happening. And when you want to talk about it, a lot of people have to defend it that, oh my God, nobody is talking about, no, we don't see that anymore, we don't see race. No, but even in schools, it's still, if that boy can comfortably call this black, meaning what is it, what do you think about where he's coming from? What do you think about his upbringing, his parents, and all of that? And the teacher is even not making this situation comfortable or convenient. Anyways, lovelies, why not just leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video, and do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying, harassment, or so we're just here for educational purposes. So please share this video, subscribe to this channel if you're here to do that, and I will see you lovely.
Watch up to this extent. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Why not just leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. And do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying, harassment, or whatsoever. We're just here for educational purposes. So please share this video, subscribe to this channel if you're here to do that. And I will see you lovelies when I upload.